2.
Win streak, baby.
Oh, man, I really screwed that shotgun up. I was just so excited.
Yeah, I was just going to say it was...
Now I'm going to smell like beer, so when I drive home...
Better be careful.
Yeah, I'm going to get pulled over and be like, sir, what are you doing?
That's so funny.
Sorry, I had to shotgun a beer for the
podcast.
Yes,
so win streak.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
Pulled out the upset.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, the mega upset. You were saying that you owe Eric Almirola
and now I owe
gift.
Tyler Reddick a gift.
It's Harrison Burton, I thought.
Oh, also Harrison Burton.
But yeah.
No, if Tyler Reddick hadn't...
You owe a shitload of gifts out here.
Yeah, if Tyler Reddick hadn't come up and pushed Byron on the backstretch, I don't think he...
Yeah, I was talking about the caution.
Yeah, the caution, yes.
Yeah.
Harrison Burton as well, yes.
Yeah, so...
I don't understand why Harvick didn't go for 2 tires. I didn't understand that at all. Everyone else went 2 tires except for Reddick and Harvick.
I don't know. He made a comment on that. He's like, they have more information than I do in the box, so...
That's fair, yeah.
But, yes, so obviously reviewing Phoenix...
Not my favorite race, to be honest. I don't know. It's the clean air is king thing.
Yeah.
Know?
I thought it was a little better than Vegas. A little bit, but...
Not on those longer... even the longer runs, I don't know. Watching stage 2 was just... Byron went over the radio because he was in second most of stage 2. And every time... I was watching the Delta... Every time he got within 0.6, 0.5, he couldn't get any closer because of the dirty air.
It was the cautions
also,
again.
It seemed like both Larson and Byron had their cars set up to run the shortest distance around the track. Because, when Harvick passed Larson tried to run up a lane. And
that was so impressive.
And he just, oh my gosh, that was so cool.
That was Harvick.
Harvick was all over
race,
the track.
I feel like.
Yeah. Through the whole race, he was doing different lines and whatever, and everyone else had to run the same line, and I don't know. It just, that was a cool part of the race. I enjoyed seeing that, Harvick be able to grind it out and get...
that was awesome.
It was a very Harvick
just as we
thing to
knew
do.
he was going to be great in Phoenix, and to be honest, I kind of thought that... I thought it was going to happen.
I did too.
I was really excited. If not for the last caution, it's the exact same thing as what happened in Vegas. I'm dubbing Willie B Mr. Steal Your Race. That's literally what I'm doing.
If the first overtime caution or the overtime restart, I don't think Byron would have been if it would have went green, Byron wasn't going to pass Larson. But because they got that second chance at it because Ty Gibbs and someone else wrecked in the back, that I think Byron figured out what he had to do.
Yeah. If not for the first caution, though, it was Harvick's all day. He had such a lead.
Yeah. 4.5 seconds. Once he got past Larson, he was gone.
Done.
It was like last year when, was it Michigan? Where he got past, I can't remember. Was it Hamlin or someone? And then once he got past him, it lights out. Yeah. You couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
I will say I was also impressed, with that last restart. It was Larson really tried to run Byron up the track, but didn't try to, wreck him. He just, but Byron somehow held it on that apron. I don't know how, because everyone else who went up there was not able to keep grip. So, I don't know.
I would say it was.
It was impressive.
It was. It
was kind of I didn't expect him to win. I picked Chastain.
Yeah.
Chastain didn't do anything. I don't know.
No.
Logano, who won the championship there the year before, and won the race, was nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found, yeah.
Yeah. He started up front, but couldn't.
Yep.
The setup wasn't.
Yeah, some cars that I thought would be competitive were just kind of hanging out mid to backpack, pretty much the whole
it was
race.
The Hendrick show for the first 3/4 of that race. They have something figured out.
I was really looking forward to Harvick with the upset. But...
Yeah, that race needed that. Let's be honest. It had its moments, but it was pretty dull for the first, half of the race. So, but we learned again, I don't know what it is. If it's just I guess we'll find out if it's just a Phoenix thing or not. I think Richmond's coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Or
whether it's really, if it's just Phoenix as a track, that's...
Well, and I'm looking forward to another 1.5 miles based on what happened at Vegas.
Yeah,
hopefully they figure something out.
So, no, Phoenix. Kim go got another win. Not that it matters anymore, but we'll get into that later.
I feel like our biggest chunk of this podcast has to be News of the Week, which typically isn't that big of a one, but I mean, based on what happened over this past week in NASCAR, it was the most eventful week so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And it wasn't even some of it was with the drivers. It's just more NASCAR and like the sanctioning body in general.
Yes. News of the Week is huge. So we'll start off on a good note.
Yeah. Good note.
Yeah, something super exciting. So, Kevin Harvick is going to be racing a throwback to the 29 at the All-Star race for North Wilkes-Barre.
That's cool. Kevin Harvick, if you don't know, made that number famous.
Yes.
Back in 2001, he took over for the late Dale Earnhardt at RCR, and I think it was the second race that he raced in that car, or was it the first? It was Atlanta.
It was Atlanta.
Was it the after Daytona, or was it a couple weeks after?
I think it's a couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks after, took over the car and the team, switched the number obviously to 29, but and ended up winning and never looked back from then. So
did his tribute
to
the 3.
Yep.
But yes, so obviously in his, farewell season, I thought we were going to see some really cool stuff like this. So I think this is the biggest one so far.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but he obviously has a throwback to his Anheuser-Busch.
Okay. It's going to be the Busch. Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, it's Budweiser, I think it is.
Oh, they're doing the Bud scheme?
Budweiser, yeah.
Like our hood?
Hold on, I have a picture of it. Oh, it's Busch Light.
It is Busch Light.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So, anyway, going to be racing the 29 for the All-Star race. Obviously, since the All-Star race is not a points-paying race, not racing the 4 isn't really detrimental to Stuart Haas.
No.
So anyway, that's really, really exciting. Definitely smell a Dicast in my future
absolutely.
for sure. You're going to have to pre-order that.
The pre-orders, you better get on that.
Oh, yeah. We already looked at it. They have tons of different kinds. So they have like the Elite Dicast. They have like a few of them that are special, like more like chrome, like just tons of different ones. So
that's
you have to check it out. We'll put the link in the comment.
In the description.
Sorry, clearly not my forte, but it'll be in there.
It's cool. I'm down for it. The All-Star race, I guess if you don't know, the All-Star race is just like, it's kind of like the All-Star game of any other sport. It's just a
non-points paying race.
There's a $1 million prize.
Yep. It was held at Texas last year. I was there. Holla.
Yeah. Texas. Before that, it used to be Daytona. Daytona always hosted it.
Yeah, they had a Bristol All-Star race.
That's for a hot minute. When they did the underglow on the cars.
That was so cool. I ordered those die-casts with the underglow. They never came. They canceled the order.
Oh.
I think that they were like kidding.
Did they have lights that you could like turn on, or was it just?
I don't know. I ordered it. And it never came. So, unfortunately, I will never know. But either way, yes, always fun. They do a bunch of, fun stuff. Like, when we went to the All-Star race last year, it was obviously all 3 series.
Yeah.
Super cool. They did, there were tons of drivers there. We saw a whole bunch of even old drivers that were there.
Yeah. The cool thing about the All-Star race is, like, it's not everyone gets to race in that race. It's past champions, current season winners, and then there's the fan vote, obviously.
Yeah, the fan vote. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they do like a fan vote, because I think there's the race before the All-Star race, to race yourself in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They one or two of those.
I think it's 2.
2 different races, so the winner gets in. Or 1 and 2, whoever finishes first and second gets into the All-Star.
We'll nail that format down and when we get to the All-Star race. But either way, Kevin Harvick's paint scheme is going to be super, super exciting.
Yeah,
so, other news of the week, we have a lot of penalties or potential penalties being handed out. So
yeah,
we're disgruntled by that. So
for different reasons. Like, so I think we touched on it last week. We talked about the louver thing.
Yep.
So the vents that push air from the front of the car through the engine out of the car. This is kind of the pathway it goes. So Hendrick, all 4 of their cars, and one colleague car got caught because NASCAR found something on them and thought that they had modified the part, which the two teams that are involved admitted that, yes, they did modify the part. Mm-hmm. Now, the big thing with this new car is NASCAR has been firm and strict on single-source parts not being modified so that everyone has the same part. And last year, RFK, they modified, I think it was Daytona, they modified the wheel hub or the something, and because it wasn't fitting on right. And NASCAR handed them 100-point penalty, 10 playoff points, yep, and a $100,000 fine,
and crew chief suspension,
and a 4-week crew chief suspension. And RFK appealed, and the penalty upheld. So the precedent
Hendrick is in the process of appealing this penalty.
The precedent was that no, you don't mess with the parts. Now, these parts that they messed with this time were not fitting in the car, is our understanding. At least that's what the teams are saying.
Yes.
And that they had to modify it because they couldn't get they weren't coming into spec to fit in the car.
That's right.
And I guess Chad Canales is saying something along the lines that they have talked to NASCAR about it, and NASCAR keeps saying, well, you got to talk to the distributor about this. And it's like, okay, so why aren't you negotiating these things? I mean,
on the team's behalf.
Yeah, it's you're the sanctioning body of the series. You're the ones who put this together, that you wanted these cars to be single source for the most part, and you wanted everyone to have the same thing. But
which is the big deal about the next gen car.
Yeah.
So,
and you're leaving these teams with a choice. Do we put a part that doesn't fit in the car into the car, or do we make it fit? I mean, I understand why they did it. I think the penalty is going to be upheld. I mean,
I definitely think the
precedent was set last year.
Right.
I mean, it's a no-no, whatever. Like, I can accept that, but the thing that's bothering me is it sounds like NASCAR isn't doing anything to fix these issues that the teams are coming across with this car. I don't know. It's just annoying me, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
It sucks.
For sure. The implications, playoff implications, but the literal implications that are for the playoffs and the points. So Bowman went from 1st to 23rd. Byron went from 4th to 29th. Larson went from 5th to 32nd. And our little golden boy, who is out with a broken leg, went from 29th to 26th, gained 3 positions.
I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
If the point...
Justin Haley's completely negative in points. So
yeah, he's
the
negative
running joke
40.
is that I have more points than Justin Haley.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Running joke, but...
Yeah. No, the Chase Elliott thing doesn't make sense to me, because if we're going to penalize the teams for this, then every team on the team should be penalized.
Yeah, and so...
The points, otherwise it just looks like you're penalizing the drivers for something they had nothing to do with.
I think this is, and it's not the same thing, but it is part of the news of the week, is the same thing with the Josh Williams stunt. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, so in the Xfinity race, one of the drivers, Josh Williams, had some debris flying off the car, some Bear Bond. It was really, really cold at Atlanta. So the Bear Bond, which is the big tape that they put on the car if you get a damage to keep, something down, apart from falling off the car, that stuff was flying off all over the track. So he got parked, NASCAR said, hey, you can't race anymore because crap's flying off your car.
Was it the first time?
So apparently he had got a warning.
Okay.
And then went in to fix it, from my understanding.
Okay.
And then it kept happening, so then he got parked. So he parked his car at the start-finish line and then walked to the garage area. So it was a big deal, but I think that and this are similar because it is all down to what it says in the rule book.
Yeah.
So in the rule book for NASCAR, which nobody has seen, and I think that's like the biggest deal. And I have been personally complaining about that for years, about the reasons why certain things, or I said, on a previous podcast, show me the rule book so I can see how many amendments have been made for Chase Elliott or whatever. Like, I've made jokes about it, yes, but like, I think that's what people are like the most upset about, is because it's the consistency
Absolutely.
At which that these are, which is not a new topic for NASCAR, right? Like, we've been talking about this for years, pre-next gen. I mean, how different things are handled. So,
well, it's like every time they do, like, if one of the, like Bob Pockers, he'll post the rule when he can find it. It always says it's always something at the discretion of the official, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, it really seems like, if that was, like, I mean, the Josh Williams thing just seems like bullshit to me because of Chase Elliott at the Roval 2 years ago.
Good God.
He had a whole back bumper missing. He was dropping crap all over the track.
Parts flying everywhere.
They didn't have to tape anything. They just let him keep going because it was low speeds.
Yep.
Hey, if that was Chase Elliott, that the stuff was... you know what I mean?
In a playoff race, right?
In a playoff
where
race.
you are at risk of getting eliminated, then the rules are different.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
agree.
What if one
agree.
of the top drivers in the points ran over a part, blew a tire, and couldn't get back out on track because they crashed into the wall?
Yep.
That's on Chase Elliott and NASCAR for not... They're just too inconsistent with everything.
It's very inconsistent. I won't disagree with that, and I think that's like everybody's issue, and a ton of drivers have spoken out about it. Everyone affiliated with NASCAR, I think, has an opinion about it.
Well, and then it's like, if you say anything about it, then you risk getting
then yes, you're
actions detrimental penalty. So yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes. So I mean, ultimately, I think that it's just the hugest news of the week, and it's just the biggest topic of the week is the consistency of NASCAR handing out penalties, dealing with appeals, and
I mean, they're being consistent. Like, yeah, I agree. They decided last year, you're not messing with these parts, and they upheld that. But then it brings in other issues of, well, why were they put in this position in the first place? And it seems like...
And that's what everybody brings up. So anytime that there's anything like this, that's the first thing, is they're like, well, this instance, and then that didn't happen. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's just, it's the same story, just different details every time. The car safety last year. Drivers complained all throughout the season, the car's too stiff, we're hurting after these races. Mm-hmm. NASCAR kept saying, we're fine, everything's fine, it passed the safety test. And then 3/4 of the way through the season, Pocono comes around, Kurt Busch backs the car into the wall. The softest kind of hit you can take, and he's out for the rest of the season. His career's over.
His career's done. Career-ending crash. That looks like something very basic that would have happened.
Because NASCAR wouldn't listen to the drivers.
I mean, I think that is the worst part, too, is because I still feel bad about what happened with Kurt Busch, because he didn't get to choose when he was done.
He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve that.
And honestly, like, the same thing sort of happened to Dale Earnhardt Jr. When he got his concussion and he was out for several races, and he... I think because of his status, he came back for a certain amount of races to, like, finish the season, have a farewell season, like, whatever. But you could tell that, I mean, it was...
He was not the same person in the race car. And you would think Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the face of NASCAR for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And you would have thought that, once NASCAR lost him, you would think, we should do whatever we can to prevent these kinds of things from happening. Mm-hmm. And then they dropped the ball last year. It's just the inconsistency and the not listening. It's like they just have earmuffs, blinders on. They're like, we don't see anything, we don't hear anything until it's too late.
Until it's too late, yeah.
So
that is, I guess, anything else?
With that part, sorry,
or...
I'm on a rant mode like today.
He warned us, by the way.
Yeah, it keeps building. I keep seeing the same things happening. I mean, it's not the same story, but it's the same outcomes and the same things that are the same decisions are leading to this to these things happening. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
I, however, am confident. I'd like to not be, but I am confident that Hendrick will recover.
Oh,
and have a good finish for the season, regardless
absolutely.
of the points
it sucks
deficit,
for Byron.
regardless of
Byron
anything.
got 2 wins, and basically they wiped out his wins with the playoff points you receive. Yep. You receive 5 playoff points per win. He lost both of those because he penalized 10 points, but he did have the stage wins, the 3 already. So I mean, still got those points, but like when the playoffs come, if he's eliminated by a few point margin, that a penalty at the beginning of the season is detrimental.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
What else do we have for news? Let's move on to the next.
So, other news. Speaking of detrimental actions,
yes.
So another penalty will be, and he's appealing. Denny Hamlin has a podcast where he was stating that he wrecked Ross Chastain intentionally at the end of the Phoenix race, which, as we know, is something that NASCAR says is not okay. Sometimes says it's okay. Sometimes says
this is another consistency thing that I'm so like, okay. Now, little backstory. Last season, Ross Chastain harassed the crap out of Denny Hamlin, over-raced him, wrecked him multiple times throughout the season in different races, in different situations. Denny Hamlin, like, he's not my favorite driver by any means, but
he's growing on me.
Not gonna lie. I mean, I truly respect. I have mad
respect for Denny Hamlin, obviously, but he's
like, especially after last season, he kept his cool throughout that whole thing. Like, I can't, like, I don't know. I kind of expected like a Matt Kenseth thing to happen.
Yeah, I like car owner Denny Hamlin better than just driver Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is what led to this thing that happened at Phoenix at the end of the race, is that Denny Hamlin wanted to make a statement to Ross Chastain that he was not going to get pushed around this year. He was not going to take the crap that he pulled last year lightly, and he was making a statement. Now, he got penalized because he has a podcast now where he's very, I don't know, black and white and, I don't know, he's just blunt about what's going on in the sport and what he's seeing and hearing. And he decided to share his side of the story to that. Was very honest about it, which is great. Like, we want transparency. I think transparency is good.
Yeah.
You want to understand what's going on with the drivers. And he said he did it on purpose. Now, if this was the same kind of deal as Fall Las Vegas, where Bubba Wallace just straight up drove Kyle Larson into the wall at 180 miles an hour, and he got penalized hard, he got suspended for a race, and I completely agreed with that. That was blatantly stupid with the safety of the car. It was about safety. And then later in the playoffs, we had the race manipulation thing with Cole Custer brake checking Tyler Reddick so that Chase Briscoe could get past him on the chicane. And there was a penalty. We decided that was race manipulation. Now, that's what they're citing with Denny Hamlin, that he manipulated the end of the race. Now, I look back to Pocono last year. If you remember the second to last restart, front row is Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain. Denny Hamlin on the inside. Now, when you come out of turn 1 in Pocono, you cannot be on the outside. You have to come down because there's a bump and you will end up in the wall. And Ross Chastain tried to race Denny Hamlin on the outside. Denny Hamlin basically put Ross Chastain into the wall and didn't get penalized for manipulating the end of the race. But this time he did the exact same thing on a much slower track. No one, like, it was just hard racing and he was just aggressive.
Or Bristol playoff race with Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott. Yeah. Chase Elliott purposefully manipulating the race so that Kyle Larson
could stay ahead of
could stay ahead of Kevin Harvick. Yes.
inconsistency.
It is.
It's...
And I think we've all seen so many instances of this, and sometimes it stands out to us more than others because it's something that was done against one of our drivers, or it was so blatantly obvious that there's no way that anyone could deny it. I.e. Bristol, in my opinion, that was so blatantly obvious. I mean, even look at SMT data, like it was there.
Yeah.
So like,
well, the thing with like the Cole Custer thing, the reason we knew it was race manipulation because his crew chief came over the radio
and said it.
Basically said,
yes.
Hey, check up.
Right.
As Chase Briscoe is coming up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's race manipulation.
Right.
What Denny Hamlin did was not race manipulation.
Well, and I think it's
like, okay, so say one like they're racing for the lead and one driver gets in, like Joey Logano last year at Darlington, taking out William Byron on the second to last lap. Mm-hmm. That's race manipulation. He took him out so that he could win.
Yes. I think that is too broad of a statement, race manipulation. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think they should label it that. But no matter what way you look at it, this is very unprecedented because it was not something that was said during the race. It's not something that they knew about during the race. They penalized him for comments that he made after the race was over. Unlike any of those situations. Yeah. So I think yes, but this one is a little bit different because it wasn't called out, you know what I mean, during the race or something that, if he wouldn't have said anything, they wouldn't have gotten a penalty. And I think that's where...
I think it's kind of crap, too. That's that part, too.
So Cole Custer's crew chief, like you were saying...
Over the radio,
that was evident, right? Yeah. Like, it was just
Denny
so
Hamlin,
obvious.
On his own personal time and his own private thing, says what he wants to say about it, and he gets penalized. That would be like if I screwed someone over at work, went on my Facebook, typed it up, like
don't do it on this podcast.
I totally screwed this person over at work, and then my boss saw it, and they were like, "Hey, you're getting docked pay, and we're taking away your vacation time because we saw that you said this outside of work." And like, it's just it'd be wild,
it's
some
for sure.
Crap.
But Denny Hamlin, he's appealing, but he was penalized $50,000 and 25 points.
I think it was the owner's points. For that.
25 owner points.
Owner points. Yeah. So it didn't affect him in the standings or anything.
Just $50,000.
$50,000, which is nothing
NBD.
for... Yeah.
Speaking of Hamlin, he also offered to pay Josh Williams fine, so that was...
I think Josh Williams did the right thing. It's nice to see drivers... I think that's something we need to see more of, is drivers standing up to NASCAR, because for NASCAR being all this rough and ready...
We don't have one of those anymore. You know, I mean, Kyle Busch or now Denny Hamlin, it's sort of our veteran drivers that are stepping in and saying something. But for a while, it was Tony Stewart that was saying what nobody else wanted to say, right? I mean, now as an owner, he still somewhat does, but...
well, it's like NASCAR is getting, like, they, short tracks, whenever they run promotions for stuff, it's always the wrecks, the bumping, the smashing into each other. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how they promote stock car racing. Sure. And then when it happens... They're like, no, you can't do that. We don't want you doing that. Mm-hmm. It's like...
There does have to be a line, but...
I know. The line was Las Vegas last fall. That's the line. You don't wreck someone blatantly at 180 miles an hour on a front stretch in front of the grandstands. Who knows what would have been flying off the car into the grandstands.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying they need to establish that and then hold them accountable to that. And I think... You're right, because the hardest part for NASCAR is not anything that we deal with, like the fans have to deal with F1, IndyCar, anything like that. I mean, that's zero tolerance.
It's like NASCAR
it's just straight up. But you're right, that is what attracts the fans. So we do have to have some of that, but it's like, I think that's where the inconsistency is always going to come in and always has come in.
It just feels like NASCAR is taking FIA ideas and running with them. Like, if you look at F1... They cannot make any comments. They cannot. Mm-hmm. They're very quiet on what's going on, because if they do, F1's sanctioning body will make their life a living hell. Mm-hmm. And it feels like NASCAR's doing the same thing with their drivers. Like, you want to have this personality of NASCAR, but once that personality comes out, if you don't like what they're saying or how they're handling it, you're gonna penalize them for it, like, and then you see the interviews, and reporters are asking Denny Hamlin and other drivers about this penalty, and Denny Hamlin's literally giving some Marshawn Lynch answers. I'm here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Everyone else is saying you don't talk about it.
Or my favorite, Kyle Busch, everything is great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
But
it's
everything is great. I really missed my opportunity for that shirt.
Then Kyle
Busch
was asked. Kyle Busch was asked about it too, and Kyle Busch just straight up said, "Just don't talk about it." It's that simple.
Just keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
But like that's the stuff. Like I want to know what's going on with the drivers. I want to hear their sides of the story. Now it's like, no, you can't talk about anything. You can't be open about it.
Well, it's the drama.
That's part of it's one of the best parts.
Yeah.
You want to see where the rivalries.
We don't need a Drive to Survive.
No.
Because we have every week.
Pretty much. I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Especially like the part you brought up about he did it outside of the sport on his own private platform.
Which that has never happened before.
No.
And so I think that's where this penalty definitely stood out, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Drivers have always been penalized for that, intentionally wrecking someone, speaking out against NASCAR for something that may or may not be true, but they don't want to hear, But I think this is.
I just don't get how NASCAR can be so thin-skinned about things. They're
catching a lot of shit for the next gen car.
Yeah.
For
a lot good reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
from driver safety to, penalties,
parts
to
not working.
Parts. Not only that, part shortage. Think about last year.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
First,
some drivers can even get
races.
parts.
Yeah. First 5 races, no one, they had to be, Daytona was, everyone was super careful because if you wrecked your car, you might not have a car next week.
Right.
Especially the smaller teams.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's true. So, yeah, NASCAR's
It's not all bad. It's just the sanctioning body is really frustrating me right now. It's I still like the sport. I'm still very passionate about it.
Yes.
I'm going to watch it every week.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just because I'm passionate about it, I don't like seeing the direction some of this stuff is going. It's rubbing me the wrong way. It's feeling like it's going to get really gimmicky and very, I don't know, just predictable. I don't know. There's going to be no, I don't know. There's going to be no controversy in it. And I enjoy the controversy, I guess. And
yeah. Same.
It's just, I'm frustrated. That is it. It brought up a lot of pent-up frustration for the last couple
It was
years.
a lot. It was a lot this week.
Yeah.
I will definitely say that.
So, I think I'm done ranting now.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, so I guess we didn't cover too much of the Xfinity race, but Austin Hill did win, came in second in the race last year. Obviously, my boy TG won Xfinity race last
Hill's
year.
He's won 3 races already this year.
I know. So
he's on a tear.
I thought it was funny because I was talking about picking an Xfinity driver because, last year in the Xfinity series, it was Ty Gibbs, Allmendinger, and Noah Gragson, and those were the big 3 in the Xfinity series, winning a majority of the races. And then now looking to this year, I think it's really cool. So Ryan Truex got his second in a row 3rd place or better finish, 3rd and 2nd over the last 2 weeks, and then Austin Hill just totally doing great this year. So
that's
good.
I
think the Xfinity race was good. I did watch a little bit of the truck race. That was overall what we had commented on, which I don't know if that's what we have to look ahead to today at Atlanta, but it was very caution-y. Tons of cautions.
Yeah, Atlanta is just I get the idea. Good for NASCAR for trying something different. Obviously the cookie cutter D ovals, they needed to do something different. Atlanta before this was not working anymore, especially after repave. It was just there was no
so
tire
Atlanta
wear.
was a Atlanta went through a repave last year when they made the banking higher. Essentially, we're racing the super speedway package at Atlanta this year, which is the same package that we're racing at Daytona, Talladega.
Just on
so it kind of turned into more of like that style racing, very fast, very high banking.
High banking, very pack racing basically. Bumper to bumper, just like Daytona, but on a much shorter track. It's clearly
so with the repave, I mean, I don't know, it was interesting last year.
I mean, it was fun, but then you see the lower series get into it, and they just...
I know, that was my point, is like, I think that, and with the truck races, it's kind of always like that. Like, it's so many cautions, and, still fun to watch, always like a bump and a bang till the finish. With the Xfinity race, I thought it was really, really exciting. The end of the Xfinity race was really good. There was sort of like the fourth place car, who was it? Hemrick must have been, right? Finished backwards. Kligerman, Parker Kligerman, right?
I saw the finish.
So he finished backwards and fourth. So I mean, all in all, it was the end of it was really fun. But yes, so
I'm just not a fan. Like, super speedway racing is not my favorite racing in the series.
No,
like it's a
I've actually taken a liking to road courses.
Road course, I'm excited for road course. Yeah, first road course is next week.
Next week we have COTA, Circuit of the Americas, first road course.
No cautions. It's going to be a strategy race.
No stage race.
I'm excited. Yep. I'm ready to see this.
Yeah, I've taken a liking to road courses. I think like I was saying earlier, I hope that the 1.5 mile package, and then obviously the package that we're racing on short tracks, which is the same as the road course short track package, intermediate package for the 1.5 mile ish races. I'm hoping that we see some improvement with those, but I am really excited. So we're going back to super speedway racing this week at Atlanta, which we have already seen that package at Daytona. So, and then next week going to COTA, but. So looking ahead to COTA before we do our picks.
Yes. COTA, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson's coming back.
I know.
It's cool.
7-time champion Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, 3 F1 champions.
3?
I thought it was 3. Or 2. Or is it just 2?
So we have
Sorry. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
Cut
that.
It's 2.
Yeah.
It's 2.
Yeah, so we have Jensen Button.
Oh, yeah. Jordan
Button and Raikkonen.
Yeah, Jensen Button, who's an F1 champ. Yeah. We have Kimi Raikkonen, who is also an F1 champ. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then Jimmy Johnson.
The Iceman.
Yeah. The Iceman, Kimi Raikkonen, yes. And then we have Jimmy Johnson.
7-time NASCAR Cup Series
champion. 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Team owner.
Team owner. Legacy Motorsport. Motor Club,
yeah.
Motor Club, yes. I'm still trying to get it out.
Used to be Petty GMS.
Yeah. Richard Petty, also 7-time champion. Yeah. So total of 14 championships rolling up to Legacy Motor Club. And then who is racing for the 9 car? Jordan Taylor. IMSA.
IMSA, yes. Sorry. I apologize.
Yes. So we have 4 celebrity shots.
Yeah. Is there anyone else that was coming?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think so.
No,
but yeah, COTA's going to be so exciting.
I really have enjoyed that they go to COTA. Mm-hmm. It is a cool track.
The COTA race last year was super cool. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought it was really fun.
Ross
Chastain got his first win. Mm-hmm.
And what a year. In a Ross Chastain fashion, as we came to learn.
Indeed. Yeah. But yeah, so COTA should be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm ready for it.
I will be wearing my Jimmy Johnson shirt in honor of Jimmy Johnson doing a celebrity shot. So.
Very nice.
Okay, so going into picks for Atlanta today.
All right. I'm going to go for Corey LaJoie. Now, I know, okay, Corey LaJoie.
Want to explain that one? Or?
Well, you know what? It with super speedway racing, it's kind of, you never know who's going to win. I mean, if you look at Daytona 2 last year and the shenanigans that happened there, I mean, you saw a bunch of lower teams end up finishing in the top 10 for different reasons. But Atlanta 2, Corey LaJoie at the end, it was like 30 laps to go, was P2 up against Chase Elliott. Unfortunately, Chase Elliott decided to put him into the wall. I mean, he was trying to block him in the turn one, and he ended up in the wall. But he had a very good chance of coming out ahead. He was strong up there. Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna bring something similar to that this week. I don't know. It was super speedway racing. It's anyone's game.
Yeah.
And you got to be in the right place at the right time. And I think he might be able to get it done.
I think that's a bold pick, considering that the pole and the top 8 are Fords. So Corey LaJoie in a Chevy is, but like
he has finished in the top 50, top 20
run
in the first 3 races, which is unheard of for that team and that small of a team.
Yeah,
so
I know. Corey LaJoie races for Spire Motorsports, so
they're a 2-car operation.
Yeah, so that would be a huge win if Corey LaJoie can get
playoff
it done.
Spot, like
totally cool. Not a waste of a playoff spot if that did happen. That's totally fine. It's not like we already have Ricky Stenhouse in there.
That could be the thing that tilts the balance, and all of a sudden they're on to like Hendrick level. You never know.
You do never know.
You never know.
This next gen car has proved pretty well
what's gonna happen. I don't know. Bold, I guess.
Yes, bold. I like it though. I like it. I think why not? So, race control. Oh, me next? Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear yours first.
Yeah. So I really was. I had a hard time with this one. Top 8 spots are Fords, so I feel like I would be crazy if I didn't pick a Ford. But I wanted it to be Kevin Harvick, but my race pick is actually going to be Ryan Blaney.
Okay.
So Joey Logano starting on the pole. I don't think he's going to do it from the pole. Ryan Blaney, I think he has a really good shot.
He's
starting third.
He's a great speedway racer. He's always up front. I mean, Daytona the last 2 years, I think.
Yep.
He was up for the finish.
Yes. So Ryan Blaney won the middle stage last year.
Okay.
So it was William Byron, Ryan Blaney, William Byron. So obviously he won the race last year.
Yep.
We're not going to go for 3 in a row.
It's going to be hard, especially with super speedway racing and the way these drivers are. They know that Williams won 2 in a row. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see that happen. Right. They're going to do whatever they can to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah. But I think Ryan Blaney's stage 2 winner last year, and I think that he can get it done.
And that's a solid pick.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
Yeah, so that's what I got. Race control?
My pick is Brad Keselowski in a Ford.
Okay. Any particular reasons?
Brad Keselowski is really good at this style of racing, and the Fords have some pretty good speed. So I think he knows how to get it done.
All right. Looking back at the Daytona, RFK was strong when they were up front.
Yes. Yes, they were.
Yeah.
They were great teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
Genuinely. I think that was like what I love to see the most about RFK was, and, you know, I do really like Brad Keselowski. Chris Buescher is, you know, he's
Chris
cool.
Buescher. Yeah.
He's Chris Buescher.
I mean, he seems like a fun guy with the whole Christopher thing last year.
Oh my God, that was funny.
Amazing.
But yeah, so I think Keselowski has a good shot. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Good picks.
I'm down with that.
Cool. All right.
I'm Team Chevy, so yeah.
So you had to pick a Chevy.
I had to, yeah. But I don't know.
Well, I'm Team Toyota. I did not pick a Toyota. Actually, the highest starting Toyota was Christopher Bell, and he is going to the back of the field for adjustments. So
then,
the Toyotas
then who's the next highest?
That's actually a really good question. I was looking at that. So Christopher Bell was the highest starting Toyota in 10th, now going to be starting in the back. Denny Hamlin is the next Toyota starting in 14th.
Oof.
So...
a little off the mark there.
Little off the mark.
But you never know. Without practice, they didn't have practice at Atlanta this year.
That's true. Yeah.
And so maybe Toyota is set up for a more balanced and not so much a qualifying setup, which is very possible. So, you know, you won't know until the race, I guess.
Yeah. I feel okay about it. I don't think it's going to be like a shit show or anything. No, I think it's going to be fine. But.
Yeah. No. I guess, this is probably the first really ranty episode that we had. Well, at least for me, I got really into it.
Yeah, the rants that we didn't cut.
Yeah, that we didn't cut. Yeah. We'll find out how many.
Yeah.
That was fun. I enjoy ranting sometimes. It's nice to get some stuff off my chest.
Yeah, you had to get it out.
Yeah.
Have hate in your heart.
Can't internalize that.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, Atlanta today. See you for Coda next week.
Peace.